the biggest idiot you've ever met.
Bwipo is shocked right now at this breakup.
Yeah, crazy. I subbed in for him, and it's time of need. Where was he when I made a bad joke?
How quickly we forget.
I was just shaking my head.
Were you?
You're gonna make him sick again, sir.
Oh no! Please no! Don't boom me. All right, we've got. Let's see how the draft changes around here in this one. Cloud9 has elected to go back on the red side here for this game. It's Ari, Nico, and Lucian banned out by FlyQuest. It's Senna, Varus, and Callista banned out by C9. It's Orianna locked in for Jensen.
Get to the good one. There we go. The Jensen Orianna.
I had to get to the junk first.
The legend here. Most played champion. Incredible win rate on this. It's almost always been permaban versus him, and yet they let it through. Let's see how they fare here. It feels like in this game, Cloud9 are like, you know what? We are so against the ropes right now. We got to unleash hell. Berserker, Zeri, the go-to. This is his favorite champion. He was like our original pentakill king on it, and they need to bring that back.
Pentakill Pikachu has been dethroned by the dragon, but
Berserker's an OG pentakill Pikachu player.
Back in a brighter time when pentakills meant something. But,
are we really saying that Zeri era was when pentakills meant
by
something?
comparison,
Wow.
yeah, we are.
The dark times of Smolder have really
eternal darkness
reign of terror.
Smolder. Yeah, things are.
But I will say, for Cloud9, this feels like they're just going towards absolute comfort. They're going to go towards a 5v5 comp. And I worry a little bit for, where they're at prep-wise, because I did feel like they got kind of draft gap 2 games in a row. And now it feels like they're like, all right, well, I guess we just pick what we normally play and go for 5v5. But Zeri's not really considered S tier right now. Smolder was actually available. They elected not to go for it. So they're going, I assume Maokai jungle potentially, or do you think it's going to be Maokai support? I feel like if you go Maokai support, the lane is going to be potentially too weak.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of assuming it is going to be Maokai jungle, and now we know that. So it is going to be Zeri and Alistar. So drafting go buttons, playing around Berserker.
I think Cloud9 have to ban out some some junglers that are going to lock down the Zeri, because Berserker is obviously, they're like, all right, Berserker, please save us. They're praying to him right now. They've tried in the previous 2 games. They're like, Jojo hasn't been able to do it, so they really got to ban some junglers to protect that. Yeah, there's the Vi. Expect another jungle ban here, because some guaranteed engages onto that Zeri are the scary thing. I would also ban Nocturne with the Vi, even though Zeri does have a lot better escape options. When you have Nocturne with Nautilus and Orianna, it's like, holy, I can't see anything, and I'm just getting jumped on.
Chat voted 83% of them thought that the lemon in the other mouth worked.
All right, I guess I'm just
vindicated. You're one of the 17%. Now you're the weirdo, Flowers.
I guess I'm the weirdo, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand the lemons.
You're getting a lemon too, buddy.
I don't want no lemon. I didn't agree to this.
Should have thought of that.
Well, you should have invited me on your show.
Well, you can come on and eat the lemon.
We're gonna invite Flowers on the dive.
Just eat the lemon.
This
Just to eat the lemon.
He'll just be sitting in the background, not participating in any way.
I'm just gonna be chilling. I'll nod my head when you say something. That's how I'll make it up to you.
I appreciate
I'm not
that.
even gonna pay attention to what you say, but I'm gonna agree
Thank
no
you.
matter what it is.
That's important. Blind faith.
Lemon stonks are down.
Whoa, that was a quick sign. That's impressive. Ran out, immediately made it up to date. I love the topical signs.
Between game signage. All right,
The
so
LCS sign game is out of control this one, by the way.
yeah, we are
out
popping
to
off
everyone
with the
making
signs.
posters.
Good job, fans. We've got Tristana, Jason, Renekton, 3 AD solo laners.
They're calling for the
Removed
Kiana.
here. Okay.
How do you feel about that one?
Well, Kiana's popular now because the voice actress for Kiana's been doing a lot of stuff reacting to the community.
Those are really good.
Yeah. Those are really entertaining. So,
All right, well, they're going
I
back
don't think
to the
we're gonna
Yone,
get
though.
Kiana, but it'd be cool.
I also don't think so. With the Yone lock in here, can they get it done? Maokai, Twisted Advance, plus a Yone. Like, they've got the point and click.
Yo,
They've
that
got to get
art
those
is
skills.
sick.
That is
What?
actually crazy.
That's better than
How do you just
anything
show
I
up
could
to the
ever even
LCS and do
imagine
that?
drawing.
How long did that take you? That was insane. The detail on that Orianna. By the way, Orianna,
I got here last Thursday.
Yeah,
just been driving
just
for a
chilling.
while.
the exact stats for Jensen Orianna. By the way, most played champion for him over the course of his very long professional career at 98 games. 75% win rate with the rounding up there for him. That is absolutely crazy.
Oh, Gwen I would actually really like here. It is into the Gragas. Of course, you can still go phase rush, and sometimes people go phase rush and AP Gragas and do these little different things to answer it.
Whoa.
Instead, it's going to be the
Never mind.
Olaf. So taking a page out of Bwipo's book here a little bit and throwing one of his counter picks right back at him. This becomes very difficult. It is definitely going to be phase rush Gragas, so be shocked if it is not. That is one of the only ways you can actually disengage these potential all-ins. But of course, you can immune the cast, you can immune the body slam. You are looking to really go right at him. They're drafting some dive buddies here alongside the Yone, some additional targets, some people to be able to actually start up the fight so he can be the follow-up. It's so much easier as a Yone when you are the secondary engage instead of the primary.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be phase rush Gragas, and phase rush Gragas is pretty hard to catch too. Oftentimes you can bait out the Olaf ultimate. If you, yeah, exactly. You bait out the Olaf ultimate. As long as he doesn't get another attack off, you can time it out, look for re-engages, look for jungle plays. But honestly, I think this one is going to be very difficult for Cloud9. Backs against the walls. This is upper bracket though. Let me remind all the fans,
So if
this
they
is
fall
upper
through
bracket.
this wall, there's another one.
Yeah, you've got 2 lives still.
Yep.
Both these teams still have 2 lives, and they don't want to use them, but they do have 2.
So, speaking of having different options that you may or may not have to use, what do we expect to see from everybody's favorite like thrift store item shopper in Kaisa this game? Because we hear about how like the AP build is really strong late, but you've already got double AP solo lanes, and it's a pretty magic damage heavy comp if you go AP Kaisa as well. Are we just expecting AD Kaisa here? What do you guys
With Lethal Tempo, I think it's just going to be Shiv Kraken, would be my expectation.
Okay.
So I think it is going to be on hit, especially because there are multiple tanks, some frontliners that are going to be difficult that you have to get through.
You get reported if you go AAA AP here. You get super reported.
I'm just making sure I'm
Your
not...
solo laners are pissed. Your jungler is pissed. Your support is pissed.
I have not played an AD carry champion in years. The closest I get is when I roll one in ARAM and give it to Azael. But while we're waiting on the minions to spawn in this game, we got Raz standing by with FlyQuest coach Nuke Duck.
That's right, I got Nuke Duck with me. First question, you guys are 2-0 up. Comps have been looking nice. What's your assessment so far of the series and your guys' performance?
The guys playing surprisingly well. Like, of course, we had some laning problems, but yeah, they're playing very well. And yeah, the assessment is we just need to not get too excited and cocky. This is a definite problem we have because, or we never win clean wins, you know. We always have to do a little too much, throw a bit, and then come back. So I hope the guys will take it like fully serious. That's the main problem I guess we're facing.
And I guess that's literally my second question is just like how you guys can clinch this series out. You kind of already answered it, but just based off the comp alone, anything that you're afraid of with Cloud9's comp here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Fudge on Olaf. That's like this their trump card this game, you know. So if we keep him in check, we should be winning. So, you know, I think we're gonna win.
All right, sounds confident to me. I'll send it straight back to you guys, the casters.
The first question and answer is the best part.
That was actually hilarious.
Surprisingly well, the team is playing. Honestly, here though, yeah, it feels like they do have full confidence there. He mentioned keeping Bwipo in check and being confident that they can do that.
I'm also curious how much focus will stay on Jojo this game. Game number 1, it was all Jojo focus all the time. Game number 2, it kind of just felt like FlyQuest was running away with it. Jojo just unable to play really without having to be specifically focused down because of the comp difference.
I mean, I think for better or for worse, you know, win or lose, there's gonna be a lot of focus on Jojo from the results of these first 2 games, right? Game 1, he was getting picked off nonstop. Game 2, the comp was kind of built around him, but he couldn't really make it happen. I do think it was a very difficult composition to play, but still, this is the superstar player. You know, you heard Vulcan in the interview at the top of the day. You know we have Jojo in the mid, so he's going to be slamming mid. We just have to not int. We're going to win the game. That has not been the case whatsoever. Jensen has been heavily outperforming.
And I actually wanted to look to chat, but we're going to get a gank here real quick. If Jojo takes a Q in.
Jensen's trying to be like, oh, I'm looking pretty juicy. While
It's
Oh, look at me.
it was a little bit too far on the act stupid scale, I think. You got to act just stupid enough for it to be believable, but he was just walking straight at him.
But I will say, Jensen has been actually immaculate in this series. He has not died yet, so I wanted to pose a question to chat. Do you think Jensen will even die one time in this series? if we put up a poll for Jensen, because he has been so good, and now he's on his Orianna. He too has the phase rush to be able to get out of a lot of these melee ganks that they're going to throw his way, as Bwipo also face checks.
Yeah, Bwipo does not really want to be here any longer. Undertow hits him for enough to get him down below 100, but Bwipo should be able to get away now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this is Ghost for Fudge, not Flash. So it's not like you flash in and finish him off there. Was never going to be the kill, but does lay in wait, finds a nice little play. Bwipo, though, of course, you're starting with just the mana crystal. It's not a lot of combat power. It's just going to be about surviving.
I'm going to put that at 0 for combat power.
So,
Hey, 0's not a lot.
there you go.
That is true.
So you're just trying to survive, right? And he is going to be able to successfully do that. Fudge, I have seen some people commit fully to just like Ma Rush and stuff. It looks like he is going at least towards that Hex Drinker. Definitely does want to be bullying in this matchup and wants to play heavily towards that.
Yeah. Even Lee Sin has a little bit of magic damage too in the kit, so always feels super nice for going for the all-ins. It's definitely going to be a little risky here for Cloud9. How do you feel? Because Blaber, remember he had such an amazing, never mind, bottom side gets a nice little chunk, but Blaber had such an amazing Maokai record for so long that they made so much. Oh, never mind. And we've got possible pressure. It is alleviated quite quickly though. But a lot of people also talk about how when Blaber's not on one of these carries, then Cloud9 do have trouble. And this series, now him being on Maokai, they've got carries everywhere else basically, and he has to do the setup work.
Yeah, and I mean, he was really successful with that. Like, as you were alluding to, he had this incredible record. I can't remember how many games in a row he won, but it was a lot. Fudge getting pretty aggressive here. Might look for the all-in because Bwipo is very far up. Not going to commit to it. I mean, that mini wave is very big, so he's being a little bit respectful to it, and obviously doesn't have 6 just yet.
Right. He's like a little bit more than halfway away from it. Jojo does get his level 6 though. Jensen, no problem here, has his teleport to get right back.
I think if he hits that Q3, he could maybe kill him because Jensen wasn't 6 and he just hit it. So it could have been Q3 into ulti, but maybe a fight here over by the Grubs.
Yep. Inspired and Bwipo were there first. They snipe out the first grub, but C9 now has more manpower. Inspired! Inspired, what in the hell was that? Okay, hold on. We got the cask thrown out to disengage it. That was a little wild.
Well, he wanted to be able to smite it. It was so close to 600 there, so he wanted to take the Q and be able to smite it in a couple of seconds. And then the grub just leashes back. The Cloud9 grub.
C9 grub.
C9 grub trying to pull in that jungler, get some revenge there.
Well, this is the first time so far in the series that FlyQuest has acquired a grub. Both of the previous games, it was all 6 grubs for C9. This is the first grub for FlyQuest.
Is that good or bad for them, though? Because they won the last 2 without getting a grub.
Well,
they've deviated from the plan of giving
You could
up
tell the grubs were pissed because then they tried to kill Inspired.
Well, I think, what was the number, Kobe? 72% of people think that it's a good thing because the grubs are cute. You gotta have cute grubs.
The Void Might's not the Grubs. That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
I think even more percentage probably think those are good.
Yeah, I have not been paying attention in class. That's my bad. We got the Drake started up, though. We got the attempt on that one from FlyQuest, which, again, we'll see if they can control these early Drakes. Game number 1, it was absolutely huge for them being able to have the mid-game control they needed. Vulcan just kind of going to look on.
Look at Bwipo. Bwipo's actually roamed mid here. He's going to be a surprise for Cloud9.
Yeah, Blaber's going to get jumped on here first, and as soon as Bwipo shows up, Jojo knows that he then has to retreat. He can't try to stand and fight these guys. Blaber loses his flash, but he keeps his life, and that's what's important. Now Fudge, with his lane opponent gone, can shove up the top lane too.
Yeah, as soon as he sees him, tries to hard push, Q through the minions, but Bwipo on his way back has an easy route. He'll lose just 1 melee. It's a cannon wave, and those are the types of plays that you're talking about when you're highlighting how smart Bwipo has been. Top laner taking some of his time.
Oh, Inspired again. He goes all the way back. He follows Jojo to the origin point of the Soul Unbound, but still no kills coming in just yet. Bottom lane, Zeri pops the ulti, and Busio's got to be scared now. He tries to walk away. Dredgeline back onto the Alistar. Vulcan gets out, and it's first blood over to Berserker. The Zeri is ready to go. Massu still at about half HP, trying to wait out the ulti here, see if maybe there's some kind of an angle. Zap hits him, but not after it goes into the train. Berserker down to 200, Massu down to 200. Massu's not going to do this anymore. He's heading home.
That is so big for Cloud9. 2v2. They get the kill in the bot lane. First blood for Berserker on the Zeri. That is a big confidence booster when Cloud9 really needed in this series.
Yeah, they put so much faith in him really early on. The Berserker Zeri carry. See if Vulcan shenanigans here. Right out of the brush. They thought it was the recall. He gets the setup onto Busio, immediate ult from Berserker, and they know they're going to chase it all the way through. Vulcan does a good job staying in front of Busio too, so that he can't get the hook escape onto the wall. And then after the hook, he flashes away, make sure there's no counter kill.
I gotta say, it always feels really bad when your bot lane dies, and then you look, it was to a Cull 80 carry, right? You know, Zeri actually had bought a Cull before that. They get the outplay anyway, they get the 2v2 kill, so he's off to the races here a little bit.
We got the numbers back. Over 70% of chat does think Jensen will die this game. He will not go deathless in this series. And now the Berserker's got some money. Honestly, with Berserker getting money on Zeri, I've seen this before. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more worried for FlyQuest this game.
Well, Blaber here on this Maokai. Still waiting to see either one of the junglers get involved in any kills. Inspired has definitely made some attempts. Dredge line onto Vulcan. Lots of damage there on the Alistar, chunking him down, but the Zeri ulti's already ready to go. Berserker wants some more PvP. Massu and Busio trying to get themselves back a little bit. Vulcan hits level 6, and that means the chance for a counterpunch is greatly diminished. Massu and Busio have to retreat all the way back underneath their turret.
Yeah, this is quite well played there, but they're going to look for Jojo.
Inspired knows there's no soul unbound. Fate sealed, though. Nicely done from Jojo to keep himself safe.
Yeah, really good job from Inspired to blow his ultimate cooldown there, too. By landing that Q and taking it in, all he wants there, get the extra cooldown out of Jojo. Now you've got no ultimate. The Yone here, feeling the pressure. Good.
Jensen doing a good job there, too. Just interrupting the back, messing with his tempo a little bit.
And that's going to make sure that these grubs are going to be pretty much guaranteed. Jojo now does get a Knight's Vow, but this mid lane cannot get over to grubs. Should be Inspired picking up the rest.
Yeah, he's got control over that. Blaber shows up mid, but Jensen is just ready to stare these guys down 1v2, keep the jungler away, keep the mid laner too low a health to be able to really participate in the situation. Jensen committing the shockwave there just to make sure that he's keeping these guys out. Inspired still working on the last one of those grubs. Remember that C9 did get 2 from that first set of them, so neither side going to be spawning the Void Grubbies this game, as the invade from C9. Oh no! Busio wanted to channel his Hex Flash to get back over that wall, but it's going to be a lot harder than he wanted it to be. He stays alive for now. Blaber throws out the ulti. Busio's still burning. Berserker makes his way into the fight from the side as Jensen now tries to escape, but he's got to be careful. He flashes back over the wall to the blast cone. Inspired tries to flash to the safety of the tier 1 turret, but Berserker is popping off in game 3.
Big moves there from the Cloud9 bot lane, being able to roam up. Berserker gets there, grabs another kill as Cloud9 win another fight in the FlyQuest jungle.
And it's all because they knew the grubs are being given over to FlyQuest, to Inspired. And when enemy jungler is up on grubs, you got to take something from him on the bottom side of the map. So Blaber went with Vulcan. And even though Busio is like, all right, they got to be in here, right? They're counter jungling. We just saw them. They still get the jump.
So this is a little bit of a pop quiz here. So you're trying to guess in chat. This is Massu's playoff debut, and we have another player here. You're trying to guess what playoff debut is
that
this
bald head? Is that
thing?
you? You got yourself in there? Huh, Isaac?
My playoff debut was pretty good.
That's looking pretty round.
Yeah, Kobe's just staring at my head. Just going, trying to look at the comparison.
I'm looking at you back at the screen. I was like, that's definitely...
So the shadows can be misleading, because one time we did a guessing game, and I was like, that was Dokla. I know it's the shadow Dokla, so I guessed Dokla. And they're like, yeah, that was Dokla's shadow, but the answer wasn't Dokla.
Yeah.
I just like how you tried to direct Kobe's attention to the statistical comparison of the players, and he's like, I don't know, he's got a pretty round head.
I've seen that head a lot.
Okay, let's see it.
I was trained by Pokemon, though, to trust the shadows. I feel like I've been betrayed.
I know.
All right, well,
Dragons have leveled up. FlyQuest coming to challenge C9 here for the Drake. Inspired's in the pit. Zeri Zap comes through over the top. Blaber's trying to keep these guys away using the ulti as Vulcan's here from the front line with the Alistar ult leading the charge. C9 just looking to run over him. Bwipo's already down as Jojo goes in for the Fate Seal, resets his spot so he doesn't get burst himself. Now Busio drops next. FlyQuest are dropping like flies. C9 have finally found their way to the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's a total of 5 kills for Berserker now? We have seen this story before. Wrap it up. it is a rich Cloud9 AD carry.
Inspired played it well in the 50-50, kicks out Blaber. Blaber tries to Q flashback in for the smite, but he secures it. But Cloud9 were playing heavily for the fight. FlyQuest are positioning for this potential Dragon Steal, and ended up just getting roasted by the Cloud9 AD carry. Watch how Inspired plays this. As it gets low, steps forward, doesn't get rooted up, kicks him out, secures it with that Q smite. But Jojo on the other side, they're on Bwipo. Look where Massu is. Look where Jensen is. They're completely zoned out by the Maokai all. Meanwhile, the Cloud9 carries are always hitting.
Yeah, and Berserker's like melee range in here, pops the ultimate, easy chase downs with Zeri always too. Now he's so fed. He didn't have a completed item in that fight. Now he finished his static shiv. He's got the extra zeal on top of it. I mean, this is exactly how Cloud9 need the early stages to go to win this game. When you're focused on getting these extra kills, yes, you have given up 2 dragons, but you put yourself into such a good position to fight dragon number 3 and completely stop any of these advantages that FlyQuest did accrue. So I definitely do have confidence in extending this series, and I'm pretty happy with that so that we at least get some more games. FlyQuest, of course, still very much have some chances here with the dragon stacking and with the way that you can play some of these team fights. Jensen, by the way, still has not died, so the Orianna shockwave might come up huge.
And I don't know about you guys, but when we saw Jojo's reaction to that fight, to me, it looked like a bit of relief on his face after they won that fight, after they finally found a composition that's working for them, after this game number 3 is going the way that it is, because I feel like you had to be feeling the pressure and the stress, especially after how bad game number 2 was.
So 53% of chat actually guessed this. And they
Wait, 53 of them got it right?
53%, not even just 53 people. That's actually crazy.
Wow.
I feel like that's a really hard one to get, but obviously, throwback to Danny had this incredible debut. Also played alongside Inspired on that EG roster. It is again Inspired, paired up with this really experienced top side like he was with Impact and whatnot on that team. But that time he was with Jojo and Danny, and they were able to make that title run. So FlyQuest trying to replicate some of that success. It has been a bit of a recipe here in the LCS since EG had that big success, is pairing strong, young NA talent with veterans, try to help them really learn and level up their gameplay at a faster pace.
Exactly. You have the veterans for their skill objectively, but they're also a catalyst for the development of the younger players. Level them up faster, make sure you've got the whole roster ready to go. Inspired is just hanging on the brushes here, but he's not going to find anybody. He's seeing if maybe there's some opportunity to get a punish. The teleport onto the tier 1 turret from Jojo, but again, this champion is so hard to catch and burst down. Shockwave immediately. Jojo trying to get away from it. The Nautilus ulti, he still gets away from it. This is Yone. This is Yone. He's still alive. Okay, he finally drops. I was really wondering if he was going to fully get out there.
I gotta say credit to him though. He times the snapback on the soul bound to completely immune the Nautilus ult on the knockup. That was the reason he doesn't just immediately die. That was well played. Gets them that 1 kill back. Is able to use all the tools at his disposal to get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all because of that they do the overchase there, and then they end up sending Inspired all the way into the grave. And because you overcommitted on bottom side, that leaves the rest of the map open. And who benefits the most out of it? Solo tower gold into Berserker.
Man.
His most famous quote is, "I like money."
I was literally just gonna say
That was a great quote.
And he does indeed like money, so he's definitely happy this game. That's 2 items already.
some of the stories are so funny that I've heard about, like they'll be playing in a scrim and Fudge will TP down, get him a double kill, take 1 minion, and he's helping him push out the wave, and he's like, "Fudgy, stop it, like my minions."
He just really likes that money, dude. He
so
wants
funny,
to
man.
farm up.
Needs all the gold.
That's what makes a great AD carry.
Greed.
Greed. Give me all the money and I will kill all of the enemies.
Well, Bwipo making this matchup not look so fun for Fudge as he's been getting chunked out. Did just sit on the No Magic Mantle, elected to go for the Ravenous Hydra first, so has a lot of sustain. Wasn't going to be the Hexdrinker Rush that we have seen before.
I love too how we were talking so much in the beginning about, oh yeah, Cloud9 have 3 possible carries here. Guess what? That Knight's Vow is going 1 place and 1 place only.
Oh yeah.
There's only 1 vow in this game worth taking, and that is the one to Berserker. As he pulls Dragon, Cloud9 should have a very easy time. Take bottom tower, take out the Dragon, and little bit of extra push. 1 consolation tower on the top side of the map does go over to FlyQuest as Bwipo finishes it up and pushes the wave out.
Soul stack is stopped.
Oh, they want Jojo's head again.
8 kills to 2. It's the tilt Jojo play. That's what they're going for. Try to just blow this guy up. He's not getting away that time. Fudge teleports in. He's ready to Ragnarok and roll. He finds a kill on Inspired and now has to get back out of the fight. Massu's looking to kite around the edges here, but Vulcan's zoning him away. A beautiful ulti comes out from Bwipo. And holy cow, what a hook from Busio for the shutdown on Berserker. He curved the bullet like Angelina Jolie.
That is your first team all-pro support. Busio on the Rift. They get the shutdown off of Berserker's head. FlyQuest just clawed their way back into this one.
They're gonna get the tower as well, and Jojo this time too slow on using the ulti. I wonder if he was trying to, be a little bit slow on it, try to bait them out, try to make them fully commit. If he thought they were gonna be able to have the turn and he could get out anyway, but this time the ulti comes out too late. He gets burst down without being able to buy any extra time whatsoever, and then that hook was massive. The shutdown's really, really big. You start looking over, Jensen's doing well, Massu's doing well, and this is what I'm talking about. He has the ulti, he could use it any time, but the body slam flash comes in, he can't react to it, just gets deleted, and even though Fudge goes in, gets that first kill, he's put so low that he can't really participate in the fight.
He for sure was trying to bait because he immediately thumbs up. He emoted, and he had Berserker coming down the river. So he thought he was going to, bait him into it, but yeah, an Alistar with an ult on.
Hold on, guys, we already got another fight. Blaber's trying to get away here. A teleport brings Jensen back to reinforce the rest of FlyQuest. Blaber ain't gonna die, but it cost him his flash. Pretty big tool for Maokai to not have for the next 4 minutes.
That's one of those things where it's just a reaction. You see the hook coming at you, you sidestep, but if he blocks that, maybe it's a different story because Berserker was so rich. There was an opportunity potentially for them to turn around, or at least for it to not be nearly as bad. Maybe he dies, but they get out and they defend the tower.
Also, as a support, if you're auto-filled into support, like, it's fine, you can have those instincts, but as a support, you should have the instinct of, I need to block stuff for my AD carry.
Especially when you're on the cow, man.
You gotta drill that into your support's reactions, so it just becomes natural.
Okay, C9's lead has shrunk drastically. They were up 3,000 gold, feeling really good about the state of everything. That fight just kind of suplexed their lead right back down into the dirt there in bottom lane.
Wow, I can visualize it.
I know, suplex is a great verb. It really does show a visceral idea.
I've got to say, this has kind of been a throwback to Jojo on EG a couple years ago, where it felt like teams always just targeted him in the side lanes, and he had this, habit of getting picked off inside lanes. I feel like last year and this year he had really kind of cleaned up on that and had been very difficult to pick off, but FlyQuest are clearly just sending it for him time and time again. Inspired has just been hunting his ex-teammate across the map.
Yeah, Inspired seems to have him pretty well downloaded. He remembers their days as teammates and exactly what he needs to do to get the job done here in what is now, once again, a very close game.
Inspired, never mind, we got a hook onto Vulcan here. All right,
fight's
over.
Away.
It's kind of like, he deleted Facebook. He went to the gym. He's been working out. He's like, I don't care about my ex at all. I for sure don't care about him. Not gonna focus on killing Jojo at all. Nothing to see here.
Then you run into him on a night out, and it's all out the window.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. The pain, though, honestly.
They're going for him again.
Oh boy. This is not where Jojo wants to be. Nice, he gets away using that primed up Q3 to dash away from the Sonic Wave. Inspired had the flash there, so if he connects the Sonic Wave, he can easily follow up for the resonating strike into the NSEC.
And now the pressure definitely really on to FlyQuest here, from FlyQuest onto C9, as they don't have this massive lead to work with anymore. Zeri's still really strong. They obviously can very easily win this game, but Jensen really strong, Massu really strong. They're completing their items. Bwipo has been very, very good in the top lane. Hasn't died. He's up in CS. He's been a part of a lot of big plays. So Fudge hasn't been able to really make much happen in that 1v1, and it's going to be up to him to make it happen in that 5v5, where it can be tough. You try to go in with that Ragnarok, and you just get focused down and pushed out very quickly.
Speaking of getting focused down when when you go in. Big purchase here for Bwipo, has the Seeker's Arm Guard ready so he can go in for one of those massive engages and then drop the aggro right after so he doesn't get traded. Infinity Edge, third fully completed item for Berserker Zeri. This dude is going to hit like a truck.
This is actually really cool. So it's double Anathema's chains from Cloud9. We saw double Vow, now it's double Anathema's. Almost for sure going to be on Jensen and Massu. So, you know, both you have that damage reduction on that person, you know, to you, but also the reduced tenacity is really, really big because there's a lot of CC on that Cloud9 side.
Another hook comes out. Blaber's going to be the target here at the very start, but Bwipo, using the stopwatch, has to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Jojo wants to turn around. Inspire goes for the insect. Double knockup comes out. Bwipo's on a killing spree. Jojo's rooted up. C9's beaten down. FlyQuest is taking him to town.
FlyQuest team fighting is insane. It is so much better. That's going to be a Baron for sure.
Inspired just takes over, man. Found the kick on a Berserker. Berserker had the summoners, insta-dies anyway, tries to get out of there. FlyQuest crushed them, and with that, you have to feel the hopes for Cloud9 in this series are starting to fade away. Get out your brooms, it's looking like a sweep.
If bottom lane was the suplex, this was the steel chair.
Just watch Inspired, man. He makes all the difference in this fight as Cloud9 are trying to go forward, trying to look for the engage here initially onto Bwipo. The first hook comes out. Bwipo buys time with the Seeker's Arm Guard, then Inspired right here on the side. He's hunting. They try to mark him a little bit, but Berserker is basically being zoned out of the fight just by his implied pressure. Then Wardhog, kick, flash, knocks him into the team. He flashes out, but he's already rooted by the auto from Busio, then put it into the bounce house by Bwipo, so he can't actually E over the wall. There was no way out for him in that fight. Perfectly executed, great positioning from Inspired, great fight from FlyQuest.
Also, if you're looking at the bottom side of the fight from FlyQuest, their two carries were in a really safe position away from the Maokai ult. The Maokai ult went across the screen trying to actually get one of the frontline members. Both Jensen and Massu, easy time slipping into the river, avoiding it and just blasting them.
Feels like C9 might have made the same mistake I did in that fight where I'm looking at Inspired seeing like, oh yeah, he's gonna go for Jojo. When's he gonna kick Jojo? He wants to try to kick the anime character. Nope, he goes for the Pikachu instead, blowing up the Zeri, guaranteeing the win in the fight. FlyQuest now up 4,000 gold. Blaber forced to take the long way around to group back up with the rest of his team. Bwipo is utterly unafraid of these guys. Body slam forward, plus the Q. There's your ulti knocking Blaber back. Jensen throws the ball over the wall. They force the flashback out onto Blaber. Jojo wants to go in and find some kind of damage, but honestly, it's not enough to be a real threat.
And Jensen, I mean, it seemed kind of crazy at the time to pose the question and be like, oh man, versus Cloud9, is Jensen never gonna die the whole series? It's not crazy. That is very close to becoming reality. This man has played so incredibly well for FlyQuest. Their team fighting has been set up so incredibly well by the front line, as we keep on highlighting, that they are now, with Baron buff, have an easy time with this 4-1 split push siege, and it is already starting to close in around Cloud9 from all sides.
I mean, life comes at you fast. It was looking like a guaranteed Cloud9 win into, okay, well now it's a close game, into a, now you need heroics to even stand a chance.
Vulcan flashes in, Jojo follows up. They need a little bit more burst, but they ain't gonna find it just yet. FlyQuest disengage and kite it out. They'll take out the tier 2 turret at the same time. Berserker still trying to find some damage, but FlyQuest is all the way out. Blaber gets jumped on by Inspired, but he ain't too worried about it. Walking around the cask here from the side, nicely steps forward to avoid being knocked back by Bwipo. Nobody dies on either side, but critically, that was the flash engage from Vulcan's Alistar that did not get a kill. They cannot hold the tier 2 turret in mid lane either. C9 are struggling.
The biggest thing I will say for Cloud9's side, for Cloud9's hope in this series, you did get very, very critical flashes in that attempt in mid. Now, for the next 5 minutes, Jensen and Massu both do not have flashes. So the small window for Cloud9 has opened up. And look at the timers here. For Baron and for Dragon coming up, they are not going to have flashes. So Cloud9, they might have given themselves one baby step of a window to try and get back into it. They have to be able to get back to that backline and kill those carries.
We'll see if we can do it though, because Massu on the other side, he's basically dead even in gold now. I don't know how much is in Berserker's pockets, but it's like, this is 3 items. He is still down the 1K, but that's 3 items completed. He went for, you know, a very high DPS build. He actually skipped the Shiv, so it's Kraken, Navori, and Terminus, which is incredible DPS, and 3 items done for Jensen too.
So Berserker is 1,100 gold ahead of Massu, but he also has almost exactly 1,100 gold more in inventory. Those Power spikes are identical between these two carries right now. It's been a pretty incredible comeback from FlyQuest so far here in this third game. Fourth big completed item for Bwipo's Gragas. He's got the Morellonomicon now done all the way to continue reducing some of that healing and making it so they can continue finding these bursts.
So this is interesting actually here from Berserker. So he went back, he bought a Vamp, then decided to sell it and actually changed it to the Hex Shrinker. So he's really worried about the 100-0 from Jensen and Bwipo in particular. Of course, there can be magic damage from other sources as well, but those are the two main contributors. But it does mean he's just going to have lifesteal from runes. Like, he doesn't have any lifesteal actually from his items, so there's not that ability to just heal easily back up if you do get chunked out.
I think it's actually a good swap from him because the last two plays where we saw FlyQuest kill him was burst damage, and it was magic damage. FlyQuest, since we mentioned that Berserker has 5 kills and that he is going to take over this game, FlyQuest have surgically removed the Zeri in back-to-back plays to retake control of this game. They have been so good, both Busio and Inspired, at finding him and kind of handing him to the rest of the team to delete. So very, very worried about a repeat of that play.
FlyQuest are really showing up in this series, man. We said it at the top of the day when we were watching the teams arrive. Hold on, never mind. We don't even have time for that. Ragnarok forced out as Busio again lands a dredge line. Inspired looking for the angle here. The death charges drop. Jojo into the back, trying to find the entryway with a Fate Seal, but he's almost killed immediately. He has to fully retreat. Busio looks for another hook, but he won't find this one. Vulcan's trying to get away, but with everybody else in C9 already in full retreat, I don't think it's happening. Massu goes on a rampage, and Jojo tries to Q3 out. The Mortal Steel keeps him alive for now, and Berserker is ghosted all the way back into his own base. Blaber might just be able to escape here, but it's another fight going for FlyQuest.
Tank.
It's another team fight. These guys are winning. They will tank up for the cannon minion in mid. Yes, it gets eliminated by the zap, but not in time to save the turret.
And even without the fight going perfectly for them, right? They actually saw Bwipo throw out the ulti to try to knock back Fudge, but he had Ragnarok already up. There was a misclick from Busio. He actually had both Blaber and Berserker standing on each other, and he ulted onto Blaber anyway. You know, so it's that tough situation where they both overlap, but they're onto the Baron. They win the fight anyway. FlyQuest is looking more and more dominant. Uncontested Baron here. Cloud9 going to try to run to this dragon, put themselves the soul point, get a bounty, but they are down 7K with an open inhibitor and a Baron buff on FlyQuest, who are potentially one fight away from sweeping this series.
And they don't waste any time. They immediately send Jensen topside to push out top wave while everybody else goes for their reset first. So everybody else getting their money spent. Jensen gets one wave push on topside. Wonder what his cash is looking like.
Well, looks like about 12,500 total with 2K sitting in his pocket, just waiting to be spent. The Orianna 3-0-8, feeling great in this game. Honestly, got to give props to Busio too, who's just been hitting so many hooks to start off so many of these fights in the favor of FlyQuest. Now Inspired and the rest of Fly pushing down the top side. Jojo immediately has to snap back from his soul unbound, and it looks like this minion wave will be ready to crash into the turret.
I mean, it is crazy that Jensen still has not yet died, but it's almost crazier. Jojo still hasn't gotten a kill in the entire series. You know, he's not been able to get on the board. Jensen has just been playing flawless.
FlyQuest, they're just gonna muscle their way into the base, take down the tier 3 turret in top. That's now 2 open inhibitors. Top lane and mid lane, both vulnerable. Blaber jumping in, looking for Inspired, but there's just not an angle here. Blaber now having to deal with Bwipo. He'll be the focus. C9 dog piles in. It's a 5-man play looking for Bwipo, but he just flashes back over the wall, follows with body slam. He's safe.
Jensen keeping the Baron buff on these cannons while threatening a flank from the side too means that they for sure will get this inhibitor. Mid lane inhibitor is also still exposed, so they could rotate over. Mid wave not too far out.
They've still got this Baron for another 75 seconds. FlyQuest have plenty of time to work with. They'll use the teleport mid lane. Bwipo is going to heal back up. He'll be ready to go.
Oh,
not going to find an angle here just yet. C9 again, trying to focus on Bwipo. They know he doesn't have an hourglass this time. Inspire goes over the wall. He needs to find one of the carries, but he ain't going to do it. Berserker gets a shutdown and Bwipo drops. But now, what about the rest of the fight? Massu's already killed off Berserker. C9's on the run again. Vulcan gets turned to ground beef. It's a double kill for Massu. A 2-for-1 trade favoring FlyQuest. It's about to be 3-for-1. It's about to be a clean sweep for FlyQuest. They march on to the Nexus now, 4 versus 2. FlyQuest are looking to earn their spot in the finals, are looking to challenge for their first ever LCS title as destruction, and they're gonna do it by clean sweeping Cloud9.
Dude, inspired in that last one, over the wall twice to get the perfect angle to kick Berserker in again. That was insane. That was actually insane. Another surgical removal of the enemy AD carry. This FlyQuest squad, I mean, you gotta echo Nuke Duck's interview. He was like, whoa, we are playing surprisingly well. And that was our own coach that said that. This team absolutely came out and completely blasted. Jensen, in fact, did not die the entire series.
Jensen, no deaths. Jojo, no kills in the entire series. Very, very surprising results. You know, FlyQuest, people were thinking they were going to come in. This was going to be a really tight series, even with